Modern Horizons 3 just has commander staples for forever. Hey everyone, my name is DJ. This is the Jumbo Commander YouTube channel, and today I'm talking about Modern Horizons 3. This set is so powered up. Today, I'm talking about the top 8 cards that your decks are going to need to stay competitive. There's a ton of staples, so let's jump in with number 8. Number 8 is a broad category where I want to talk about all of the cards that are kind of like too narrow to fit in every deck, but are so good, like they need a little bit of a shout out. For example, if you love energy, there's so much great energy in the set, but what surpasses that is just the Eldrazi in this set. The Eldrazi are crazy. Ulamog the Defiler is really cool. I love the big 10 drop that's over the top. Null Drifter might actually be playable outside of Eldrazi decks, but I think Ugin wins the show because we've got Ugin's Binding and Ugin's Labyrinth. Those two cards are insane. Ugin's Binding is a bad bounce spell until it becomes a free Cyclonic Rift. It's gross. Everyone's talking about it. You don't need me to tell you how good it is. And then there's Ugin's Labyrinth. With just a little hoop of exiling a card that you can get back later, you have another copy of Ancient Tomb. Ancient Tomb, a powerful staple. These cards are narrow. You need to have the right deck to be able to cast a 10 drop. Coming in at number 7, we have quite possibly the most impactful set of cards printed here. And luckily, they're set at uncommon rarities. They're going to be everywhere for people to pick up and put in their decks. These are the Modal double face lands. There's actually 2 different types. There's the monocolored ones that have a land on the back that can enter untapped if you pay 3 life. So very good. And then we have the 2-colored land series. Let me point out the highlights of these cards. Yeah, the best of the 2-color ones are Legion Leadership. That's the Boros one that doubles target creature's power and gives it first strike. It's a combat trick that could theoretically work in an aggressive strategy. That's what Boros does. There's Revitalizing Repast. That's just a single Golgari mana. Gives a +1/+1 counter and indestructible until end of turn. A +1/+1 counter is something that those colors can kind of utilize as well, along with just providing some level of protection. Then there's the Selesnya one, Strength of Harvest, which is very good if you're running an aura-based deck. Otherwise, I think you can skip past it. And I think one of the best in the 2 colors is Waterlogged Teachings, because this is mystical teachings just on a land. It's so good. Let's talk about the monocolored ones now. Remember, the monocolored ones can come in untapped, which makes them infinitely better. We have Disciple of Freyalise in green. It is a very overcosted 6 mana 3/3, but when it enters the battlefield, you can sacrifice another creature and gain X life, draw X cards, where X is that creature's power. Oh my gosh. The big green decks, this is going to be so good. The blue one is fine. It's Sink into Stupor. This is just a bounce spell, which is fine. I think the second best one has got to be Witch Encounter. It's a 4 mana 2/2 that destroys an artifact or enchantment. That is not a good rate, but remember, it's also a land. And then the best one by far is Fell the Profane. 2 black for an instant, destroy target creature or planeswalker. Just an upgrade to Hagra Mauling from before. So why am I making such a big deal about these uncommon cards that have lands on the back? The effects on the front are not even that cool, okay? The reason why is because Magic the Gathering is a resource-based game. And if you have too many or too little of your resource, like lands, mana, then your game can get sidetracked and you're likely to lose. So at its core, you need to hit your land drops in Commander because it is a big mana format. And so if you ever don't hit your lands, like, you are so far behind. So why not include some of these cards? Because they will make sure you hit your land drops, because now instead of running, 36 lands, you're running 40 lands, but oh wait, you've included flood protection. Because if you already have your land drops, you can save these spells, even if they're inefficient, even if they aren't perfect, they will still propel you ahead in the game. All right, at rank number 6, we have 6. I had to do it, but honestly, there is a better 3-drop legendary in this set, and that's Eldrazi Corvicdal. Eldrazi Corvicdal is 1 green for a 3/3 legendary elf warrior. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library. Green tap 2 untapped creatures you control, reveal a card from your hand or the top of your library. Or if you revealed a creature card this way, put it onto the battlefield. Activate only during your turn. So I was mentioning resource management and how it wins games, and Eldrazi cheats the most 2 fundamental resources of Magic. It's card draw and ramp. You get to play off the top of your deck, that's card draw, and you get to cheat big creatures onto the battlefield. I mean, honestly, you want a deck that has creatures in it, obviously, but that's a pretty low bar, especially in a green deck. It's a good card. At number 5, we have another land synergy. It's White of the Reliquary. Green-black for a creature zombie knight with vigilance. It's a 2/2, but really it gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. It's going to be a heck of a lot bigger than a 2/2. Tap, sacrifice another creature, search your library for a land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Remember, this just says land card. This can get all of your best lands, your combo lands, your fixing straight on the battlefield. This also only costs like 2 mana. So creatures are a resource. You know, you don't just want to be throwing away all your really strong creatures that you paid a lot of mana for. But there are a bunch of creatures out there that you can easily sacrifice. Like think about tokens, or creatures that have already gained their value through ETB, or creatures that are outclassed because the game has progressed past their usefulness. Like there's so many reasons why you'd have a creature to sacrifice, and then turn that creature into ramp. Because ramp is what's going to be really good later in the game. You know, we often play ramp spells that are 2 mana, get a land on the battlefield. Just imagine if you paid 2 mana and you could just get a land on the battlefield every single turn. Oh my gosh. Lands just come with creatures now too. Like you get a Field of the Dead and suddenly you're just ramping every single turn. This is gross. So sacking creatures for mana is very good. Let's talk about the next card, number 4, which sacks creatures for mana. Again, very good. We've got Warren Soul Trader. 2 and a black for a 3/3 creature zombie goblin wizard. Pay 1 life, sacrifice another creature, create a treasure token. Creatures are dispensable. Treasure is really good. It lets you save up these mana for later turns, and we all know that there are tons of great pieces of treasure synergy out there. This also doesn't have a tap to activate like the White of the Reliquary. This is just pay 1 life, sacrifice a creature, so this is something that you could loop over and over again. The easiest thing that we can see is Gravecrawler. Gravecrawler can be cast from your graveyard for a single black mana if there's a zombie on the battlefield, and this happens to be a zombie. It's like they planned it. These also are amazing creature types anyways. Zombie, goblin, wizard, like yeah, all great creature types. So take your disposable creatures and generate tons of mana, and if you happen to combo off, then it's just great too. This is a little bit like Phyrexian Altar or Ashnod's Altar, but honestly, the Soul Trader might be easier and better for combo because it can sometimes be easier to get creatures onto the battlefield, especially if the other part of your combo is also a creature. Well, look, if we have a lot of disposable creatures around to sacrifice to get lands or treasures, why not sacrifice them to get free spells? It's the Flare Cycle, and it is very good. It is also super duper hyped. I like the white one a lot because it can protect creature-based strategies, and you're likely to have a creature in those creature-based strategies. That one's pretty good. I also like the red one a lot. I mean, copying spells can be good if your opponents do something big and crazy, but a lot of times my default for red copy effects is being able to counter their counter spell so I can resolve what I really want to. And being able to do that for free could be really good because that means that I'm going to win the counter war. I mean, speaking of the counter war, the blue one is gross. It's Flare of Denial. It's only 3 mana anyways, so just casting it is very doable, but then you can sacrifice a non-token creature and get that counter spell in. Honestly, it's just an amazing counter spell, and it's going to be a staple for a super duper long time. The next one, Power Balance, not the most powerful, but I really love it. Power Balance is red for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may reveal the top card of your library. If you do, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost if the 2 spells have the same mana value. The reason why I think Power Balance is so much fun is because it is a little bit of luck, it is a little bit unpredictable, and there are those big moments hidden in this card where your opponent casts an 8-drop and they're just like, there's no way DJ has an 8-drop on top of his library, and you're just looking and you have it. Like, that is the moment. And I want to build my decks around those moments. And my favorite card I'm going to play right now is Abstruse Appropriation. 2 white black for an instant devoid. Exile target non-land permanent. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled. And you may spend colorless mana as though it were mana of any color to cast that spell. This is a well-costed removal spell. Exile, non-land permanent. It hits what we need to hit. It's not even overcosted. Like, look at Utter End or Anguished Unmaking. It's right there at the 4 mana value. But we get the ability to play that card. I get to steal your card. I love that effect. And yeah, if this was in blue, if this was another hostage taker, I would be less excited. But the fact that this is in Orzhov means that I get a cool steal effect, and I get it in a cool color combination. This is great. Look, this set is stacked. I didn't get to talk about my favorite dog, making insects, Richard Kane Ferguson art. Like, there's so much stuff I want to talk about, but I'm gonna keep it to this top 8 list that probably has 22 cards on it. Here's a little bit of the truth. I didn't go in power level order because I've been having arguments about what are the most powerful cards. Like, what's the #1 most powerful card from the set? Tell me in the comments down below. Solve some bets that I have with my friends. All right, thank you so much to Wizards of the Coast. They sponsored this video. Hey, if you're interested in picking up some of these cards, I got a link in the description. But most importantly, you should play Magic. Head on out to a local game store. Check out a pre-release. Get a Commander pre-con. Take some of these singles, slot them into your deck, and just play a ton of Magic with your friends with awesome, hyped up cards. Just have fun. Thanks so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for supporting me, for liking, subscribing, all the good stuff. I hope to see you all really soon. Bye-bye, everyone.